The story that you're about to hear is true. There are no names to be protected, no innocent people to be protected. I just sort of said that as a joking point of view, but this is a serious matter, and it can be serious to some. I'm sure it is. To many of you, perhaps, maybe you have experienced this. So, this is a very sensitive subject for some, maybe for many. Put your thinking caps on, put your learning caps on. Don't take it personal. It's only personal if I personify who I'm talking to or about, and I'm not doing that. That is a general, specific subject. What does that mean, general, specific? I'm speaking in general, collectively, but I'm speaking about a specific subject. And the subject is why some women don't have an orgasm during sex with their partner. Are you that woman? And gentlemen or guys, have you ever been in a relationship, either past or even present, where you have had a female partner or wife that did not orgasm? We are all human beings, and by the Creator, we were made perfect. Everything that was intended for us to have physically, we have. There are always extenuating circumstances. There are always situations that are not our fault. Sometimes it's because we are miseducated. Oftentimes it's the experiences that we have early on in our lives that bring us to the point of where we are today. Still not your fault necessarily. It's just simply a reality of life. I personally have been in relationships in my life where my female partner did not have an orgasm. We're grown here in this room, I hope, on this channel, on this platform right now. We're grown people, adults, and I'm speaking to you about a subject that a lot of people want to know the answer to, especially men, but maybe we're afraid to ask or to talk about. And even women who are those certain ones that have not had the ability to have an orgasm or a proper orgasm. Now, there are those women out there that will say sometimes, "You're a man, how do you know about my body? Are you serious?" There's a male and there's a female. We were made physically for one another, to procreate, to have sex throughout the world, right? Throughout evolution. Men begin to understand women or to comprehend having sex and what makes sex proper, if you will, and what's expected. There is supposed to be a climax for both partners, for the woman and for the man. The man has the ability to have an orgasm, and the woman has the ability to have an orgasm as well. From my understanding, from my experience, and even from my study, I know that women have more than one type of orgasm. There's a clitoral orgasm, and that is the one that's more common with women, from the clitoris that sits at the head of the bulb of the vagina. Then there's the walls of the vagina, what they call the G-spot, or some people refer to as the G-spot. That is a very, very intense and sustaining orgasm oftentimes for women. From my experience and from people that I have spoken with and from my research and study, mine, throughout my life, and I'm almost 60 in a couple years, from my experience, the women that I have spoken with and that I have seen and experienced have never experienced the other orgasm, the G-spot. They've only experienced the clitoral orgasm, if they've experienced an orgasm at all. So what would cause a woman not to be able to experience the second orgasm? Possibly inexperience. What do you mean inexperience, brother teacher? Has nothing to do with the size of the man's member. Experience simply means that she could have started having sex very early in her life and she was not mature here. Okay? Not mature here. So it was just a novelty. It was just something that she did because maybe she felt that it was something that she wanted to do. Maybe she wanted to please her boyfriend or the little fellow that wanted to experience her. And she didn't have any emotions involved in the act. You see, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Sometimes people can have sex too early in their lives and be emotionally detached from the act. And this could be the reason that the woman is not being fulfilled through orgasm. This happens all too often. And she grows up that way, not being emotionally attached to her partner, not relaxed. Maybe her mind is somewhere else. She's never actually been involved emotionally in the act. And this could impede her in having an orgasm, especially the second one. And sometimes when women don't have orgasms and they still want to be pleased, they will masturbate themselves. Either they're with their partner or sometimes they're ashamed, they will masturbate themselves in privacy so that they can experience that climax. Real talk. And sometimes, on the reverse side, men will masturbate after they have sex with that woman just because they cannot experience the pleasure of her and seeing her enjoy sex when they have their own climax while they're having sex with their partner. Because men and women are supposed to enjoy one another. It's not just two animals clashing. It's supposed to be enlightenment. It's supposed to be emotional. I'm not talking about people who just jump from bed to bed and just having casual sex with anyone. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who you are invested in a relationship that you truly care about. That's supposed to be emotionally involved. This is when you have the best sex with someone who really is into it. So now, I mentioned the second orgasm or the G-spot. You must learn to get to know one another's body. Sometimes you have to talk to one another. What do you like? How would you like our position to be? Do you like missionary? Do you like the dog position? Do you like the spooning position? Sometimes this matters when you're having sex with your partner. What makes them feel comfortable. Sometimes the woman is ashamed maybe if she has weight on her. She's heavy. And she may not want you to have the missionary because she feels like she's facing you and she's being condemned, whether you feel that way or not, or you say anything about it or not. And you might love her to death, love the ground she walks on, but she's uncomfortable with her appearance. So she might turn around and allow you to have sex behind her, or spooning, if you will, because she's ashamed. She has no reason to be ashamed. Just saying. So now, when you have sex with someone that you are vested in, again, ladies and gentlemen, the woman should have an orgasm during sex. So men, you're not supposed to experience that climax or that orgasm just for you and say, I got it, and forget about your partner. You're both important in that act during that time. That's your other half. You both should be pleased. And ladies, you should make sure that you allow that man to orgasm. That's what it's for. Why would you have an orgasm and not allow him to have one? And gentlemen, why would you have an orgasm and not make sure that your woman has an orgasm? Okay? So, the reason women don't orgasm during sex, again, from what I know, and from my experience, and from my study, is because of lack of experience in having sex with someone who is vested, again, in them. They started having sex too early and they were children up here in their minds. Now, a lot of people say, well, most people are children or teenagers when they first start having sex. Well, maybe that's the problem. Maybe that is the problem. You started having sex too early and you were immature. So you didn't know what you were actually getting into, and you didn't really know what love and compassion was for your partner. You wasn't really into it. You were just going through the motions. Now, how do you have an orgasm now that maybe you have some light shed on the subject, ladies? You make sure that you both are pleasing each other. Don't feel like I'm having sex just because he wants it and you really turned off up here. Try to make yourself mentally and emotionally available to your man. And guys, the same is true for you. Make yourself mentally and emotionally available for your woman. She's not a dog. She's not a bitch. She's a woman. She's your partner. She's your wife. She's your girl. She's your companion. Treat her as such. So when you have sex, you will have the best sex. You should always meet in the mind before you ever do anything sexually and physical. Meet here first. And once you begin to venture off into the act of sex, make certain that you have foreplay. Some women don't like to be kissed on the lips. Some women don't like to be kissed on the neck. Make sure you understand what it is that she likes. And ladies, make sure that you understand what he likes. And sometimes the things that you may not necessarily enjoy during the act of sex, I'm not talking about something barbaric, but sometimes some of the things that you don't necessarily enjoy during sex, your partner might enjoy. So try to meet halfway at some point so that you both can enjoy the act of sex. And you would be surprised at the types of orgasms that you will have, ladies. And guys, if you have a problem coming too quickly, make sure that you're consciously aware when you're having sex that your wife has to be served as well. Your woman has to be served as well. And it's not just about you. I've said that before. So take your time. And I know sometimes the lady, if she is becoming orgasmic and you get caught up in the moment, man, and you just want to let it go, back it down. Try to get to understand and know the signs between the two of you. You may even want to talk about this sometimes, baby. I have a tendency to want to come quick because you feel so good to me. And so you just slow it down and get to know one another's body. Get to know one another's likes and dislikes. So what you do in your bedroom is between you and your partner. It doesn't have to be discussed outside of your bedroom to anyone. No family member, no BFF, your best friend for life or forever. It's none of their business what you do in your bedroom. That's between you and your partner. That's your relationship with them. And that's sacred. Your bedroom is sacred. It's only between you two. So work it out. So there are some women who fake orgasms. So I'm talking to you ladies who fake orgasms. Wouldn't it be nice to have a real orgasm with your partner instead of faking it? I know this is probably stepping on some toes, but it's the truth anyhow. I've been there. I've never condemned the woman. I never talked down. I never mentioned her to anyone. It's no one else's business. I just simply had compassion and empathy. And I know that there's an underlying reason why. But you don't have to do that to make the man feel as though he's the king in the bed, or to make him feel like he's putting it down. You don't have to fake the orgasm. Why don't you find out why you're not having the proper orgasm in the first place, ladies? Okay? Find out why and work on that. Maybe you're not emotionally in tune with your man or your partner. Maybe there's something that's going on in your relationship and you have some inhibitions and you can't get emotionally involved. Have you ever considered that? Maybe you have stress. Maybe you're conscientious about your body again, as I said before. Maybe you think you're not adequate enough. I'm here to tell you that you are. You must believe that about yourself. And guys, sometimes you may not be able to get an erection. You don't have to take Viagra and Cialis unless you have some medical condition. All of that stuff is really just hype. All you have to do is what I said about the ladies. Be emotionally involved in your woman. Love her sincerely, without condition. Stop looking at other women and lusting after them. Stay away from the porn and focus only on your partner and let her be the light of your eyes. You would be surprised how well you could and would perform. So that's a character flaw. It's something personal with you men if you cannot get an erection having sex with someone that you're supposed to care about. Maybe you have some stress. Maybe you are inhibited because you have some issues, some burdens that's on your shoulders, some weight that's on you, and it's keeping you in a non-performance mode, or you cannot perform up to par. You ever consider that? Start having real, sincere conversations with one another. Start a kiss on the cheek every once in a while saying, baby, I love you. You would be surprised at how that plays out in the bedroom. Stop having these separate lives where you're more concerned with your job on either side, or you're more concerned with your outside family than you are with that person that you live with, that you share your life with, and you share your bed with. Start being more concerned about them, because you don't want them to be looked at by someone else and consider even leaving you because you're not showing them attention. And that's you ladies and you guys. Okay? So, men, make sure that you have a healthy diet, that you have some form of an exercise regimen throughout the week, that you get plenty of rest, and that you talk to your partner. Let them know that she's important to you and she's the best thing since sliced bread. And you will have an amazing sex life. You will. But you've got to do your part. It's not one-sided, it's both of you. You both have to do your part in a relationship. I thought that I would share this with you, and I hope that it is beneficial to most of you who have had an issue with this. I hope that it aids you in your future relationship or relationships. And all I can say really now is just love one another. Talk to one another. Care for one another as you should. Don't have Kool-Aid in your back pocket, a second person on your mind. Don't visualize someone else in the bed other than that person that's in the bed with you at that moment. That's your partner. That's your loved one. That's your wife. That's your husband. That's your man. Don't imagine anybody else in that bedroom but you. Once you have mastered this, really, you've mastered the orgasm, ladies and guys. Think on this. This is Brother Teacher. You have a great and beautiful day. I'll see you in the next video. Yahweh loves you. And you know I love you. So long.